look at the facts that something around 1 million people perished as a result of the actions of the British and Russian and Nigerian federal governments.
Vis-a-vis what we see in Nigeria, which is truly not, it should not be surprising. Look, what's happening in Nigeria is barbarous. It's horrible. I mean, it's complete madness, yet it's not a priority. The United States unilaterally could do almost anything it needs to do. It would be a long-term effort, but it could be done. And the United States has the capability. All the elements of power, we have those.
So why not?
Complete. It's not a priority. That's the problem. We are committed elsewhere in the world. Black West Africa is not a priority.
Anybody who changes his principles depending on whom he is dealing, that is not a man who can lead a nation.
When the time comes, it's okay. What stupid country is this? So when is this you tell somebody secret? When you like, you tell secret. When you like, it's in public. What stupid country is that? What stupid country is that? I ask you. When you like, you try and we journalists. When you like, you try in private. I'm not killing my people. They are killing my people. They are killing my people. They are killing my people. After killing my people, you tell me what to tell the secret? The person is mad. Completely mad. Tell Buhari, that's what I said. That he is mad. He cannot tell me. He cannot tell me. He's a madman. There's a contempt of court proceedings here. Contempt of court. They don't obey court order. They don't obey court order. You're telling me secret trial. Is the person mad?
I, Nnamdi Kanu, will sacrifice anything sacrificable to make sure that Biafra comes.
We hereby declare no election, no 2023 general election in Biafra land. This no election in Biafra land has been activated. We are going to make it a task that must be done by every Biafran. All measures will be put in place to make sure the adequate civil disobedience is implemented to stop the election in Biafra land.
The meaning of discovery, it means to bring to light something that is buried on the ground. If you can accept that, then you know that Biafra is coming. There is nothing man can do about it. It's too late. Way, way too late. The countdown has begun.
Hello, good day, everyone. It is a Friday, the first Friday of March 2023, and I want to appreciate you guys for joining. This is Biafra Global Network, and today's program, The Alliance in Focus. Thank you so much for joining. Wherever you're joining, I want to apologize for the lateness of today's broadcast. We were actually supposed to come up 1 hour ago, but please forgive us on that. I see my brother Obichuku saying that he's been on standby. Thank you so much, my brother. Good to have you here. Yes, the date was actually supposed to be 3rd, but it was put 4th, so we're sorry about that. Thank you so much, all. Want to appreciate you. Today is the 3rd day of March 2023, and today is Friday. And as usual, of course, on our program here, we always want to acknowledge God for giving us the opportunity and for giving us the grace. Today, we're going to be talking critically. Today, we're going to talk very, very critically on some issues and some deception, some issues going on in our society, the concept of what has been happening in the contraption called Nigeria, and the things we must do right now. But I already have 2 of my guests in the house already, and without wasting time, I'm going to bring them up right on screen. And here we have, of course, Pastor Emeka Livingstone. You're welcome, sir. We appreciate you for coming, and you've been here also, and we appreciate you for always, in spite of the fact that you needed to do some other things, but you have decided to make our time to be here. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Prince Ezemi Henacho is here also. The fact that he traveled, he's far, but he still made out time in spite of his trip to also be here. We appreciate you. I'll give each of us some time to say hello to Biafrans. Pastor, please, let's begin with you to say hello to Biafrans.
Hello, Biafrans. God bless you. My brother Prince, I hope you are having a good time. It's good to see you, whatever happens. So Biafrans is glad. It's a pleasure, linking up with you people again. You are our people. We are together. We share the same thoughts, same emotion, same challenges, same vision, same goal, and we worship the same God. God bless you, dear friends.
Thank you so much, Pastor. We appreciate you for that. We can see Prince's network is fluctuating, but anyhow it is. We hope that it will work very well today from his location. Please just say hello to Biafrans also.
Hello to Chukwokike, hello to Olua, hello to God. As you can see, I'm still aboard this cruise ship, so my network is poor. We're on a cruise and we're cruising to Mexico.
Wow.
So the weather is incredible, but it's exciting. As I'm sitting here, I'm sitting on top of the sea. So just to let you know, it's not to make anybody envious. It's just to tell the world that look, I'm at risk. Secondly, that God is preserving me, and thirdly, that it's all exciting, and I'm hoping to get to my destination in safety. We've been over a day plus on the sea. It's a cruise. So I want to thank God for everything. And I want to welcome my fellow Biafrans. I want to thank God for technology, which means that I can link up still to talk to my people. And that it has pleased God that today we're going to look at issues that are pertaining and pertinent to us. So I welcome you all, my fellow Biafrans. I thank you, Pastor Livingstone, for being here. I thank you, Kelechi, for creating this platform, which we know as a hallowed platform because we only speak the truth right here. I welcome you all and thank you.
Yeah, I'm putting you on notice, please, for my summer vacation. I like that. I want to take mine during summer and to the Caribbean. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say anything for now, anyways.
I think you've chosen wisely. That's the best option.
Yeah.
This is when silence becomes gold. This is the only time when silence becomes golden.
Yeah.
Other times silence is evil. But at this particular time, it is golden.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you so much. We appreciate you. Dear friends, we welcome you. Please share this broadcast on all your social media platforms so that we can have more people viewing live, viewing live. We were cut off from some platforms, so we may not be able to stream live on some platforms, but hopefully after the program, some people will get it on the platforms. Thank you so much for joining. Today, we're going to be looking critically on the issue of Nigeria and the election that just was observed, the presidential and House Assembly election. And of course, we all know the facts and the details of that particular election and the evil that have been going on. And first, before we go on, go in details to the things we're going to be talking about today, please, Pastor, let me begin with you. I want you to give a summary look by defining Nigeria based on what has happened.
Yes. If you look at what has happened, you agree with us entirely that Nigeria is a scam, and it's like the only people who are deceived in Nigeria are the masses who follow these politicians. But the politicians are very much aware that Nigeria is a scam, and they are part of that Ponzi scheme that has helped people to ransom. Because the same people who people are fighting for, when they go up there and sit down to discuss, they agree and say, okay, you have won, let's let it go, or go to court at the end of the day, blah, blah, blah. At the end of the day, you go, they settle you, and it waits for another 4 years. So the way the voting went on, both the LP, PDP, APC, they all rigged. It shows that they are not reliable. There's no particular one there that is absolved. And you see Nigerians moving around, fighting and shouting and screaming, regardless of what has been told them continually. So we see that the people who are deceived there are the followers of these politicians. But Nigeria is a scam. It's a Ponzi scheme. Thank you.
Now, Macon X here says Kogi is now fighting for their freedom. It's called Idu Nation.
That is fine. That is good.
That would be a very lovely one. Said it's Idu Nation. Let's hope it's real. We're going to find out more from after the broadcast. Check it out more. And Prince, what do you have to say? How do you define Nigeria in the context of this abstract? Do I call it? Yeah, abstract. Abstract acts that have taken place this while or this period. Yeah, we can see that your network seems to be somehow, freezing, but I think it's now full.
Nigerians, what you have said is, can you hear me?
We're struggling. The cruise is really taking.
Can you hear me? You can hear me, because what I want to say to me.
Okay, please go on now. we can't hear it. It has.
I know. I'm waiting for green here.
Okay. Yes, it's not green yet. It's not green yet. It's still red.
Is it still better?
No, it's still red. It's not green yet.
Yeah.
It's the position where.
Yeah. I can see it's tricky place, but it might get better. If I leave place, it become noisy. That's the problem. If I leave this place.
Okay, you can still go on. I think it's
let him
I'm
try.
Sure, hopefully to get better.
Okay.
Can you hear? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Please go on.
Can you?
There's a delay, but you can hear you. Yes. I think you are having a delay there. You hear us after 30 seconds or so.
I'm sure he's not using his laptop. He may be using his hand.
Yes. Go on, please.
Go ahead.
seen. Okay, all right, that's good. What you have hearing you, I'm hearing you. I know.
The delay is about 30 seconds or almost 1 minute. I think
what you have safe to talk? Okay. You think what?
Oh, I think
let me
go on. Let's see.
Yeah, if he gets a place where he has good frequency,
okay,
then he can stay steadily there without shaking.
Yes. So please try. Go on. Let's see how it goes. Okay. While we wait for him.
Okay.
Okay, please. Okay, go on now. I think you have the green now.
But you can. It's turned green.
Yes.
You can hear me now.
Yes, we can hear you.
You can. It's turned. Yeah, it's green now. Okay. So, what we have seen, the emission of everything told you, this entire wordness.
Stay where you are. Don't shake.
Nigerians.
Don't shake. Stay there and talk.
Okay. Stay here. Okay, sure. So what we have seen is not just all that we have told you about Nigerians, but all we have told you about the structure of this world. That all the entities, all the institutions, all the bodies of this world are shaped up with one common aim: to destroy Africa in general, particularly Nigeria. What you have seen is collective fraud of the entire world. We were led to believe that fraud is a crime. And you know, the little fraud people commit, like money laundering and all the rest, people are arrested, people are prosecuted, people are jailed. But today we have seen the height of crime, of fraud by the entire world. Let me tell you, if humanity does not wake up from this, then we are finished. We might forget about whatever we subscribe to as human beings. And this must be the end of Nigeria, because you have not only seen evil, fraud of the highest magnitude on this earth, you've also witnessed somebody like Tinubu, because all Tinubu has done here is to outclass the rest in terms of the magnitude of being fraudulent. Okay, what Tinubu has exhibited is first-class thievery. Look, he hasn't done anything that is too extraordinary for Nigeria. It's just that he has bettered the rest. He has bettered the rest in going beyond what people are used to. Okay. And then the people that you hear screaming, you might think are the righteous ones. No, they are the same criminals. It's just that they are shocked that Tinubu can take it to this level. Don't forget, he began by sewing uniforms of priests and clergy people.
Very well.
He began from there to show what he was about to do. So now, what I want is for people to dig deeper and see what has happened here. Because if you don't, you will just be thinking it's the usual stuff. No, this is abnormal. Because the evil had, in fact, I wrote something where I discovered that it seems to me that the older you become in Nigeria and the more demented you are, the more clever you become in criminal activities. And because you can see that Buhari did it. No, because how else am I going to explain it? This is a man, you are looking at Tinubu now, a man who is dementing, a man who doesn't know whether it is governorship elected. He comes to putting criminality together. He will outwit those that are PhD and he won't be. Can't you see what I'm seeing?
I think he pays better. He pays better. He contracts the best. He pays better.
Yeah, it seems that Nigeria has become a place where the older you become, the more demented you become, the more you can outwit others in making sure that you get the power. Now, I'm asking a very simple question. The question I'm asking, not only to Nigerians, but to all these so-called international observers, is simple. Would you, in your right mind, in all honesty, employ Tinubu to look after your dog? No, to look after your dog? No, because until Katrina Lang has answered this question, then I tell you something, the wrath of God will come upon her if she fails to answer this question. Would Anthony Blinken employ Tinubu? Because part of looking after a dog is taking a dog for a walk. Would they employ Tinubu to look after their dog? Now, if the answer is no, then I can tell them and I can promise them that the wrath of God is upon them unless they come out now and begin to repent. The wrath of God, because what they have done is to sanction an election that they know must be fraudulent. To sanction an election where they are handing billions of people.
It's frozen again.
People's life over to Tinubu. And God is frowning. God for this level of people Nigeria alone. Nigeria. And
the signal has gone bad again. The signal has gone bad again. So let's see how it goes. Oh my! I think the signal has gone bad again. So let's see how it goes. Maybe you try once in a while. You just go out and come in again and or refresh or something. I think it will help.
I think it's
so we can't hear properly now. It's very, very bad. Very, very bad now. Let's I think we've been able to get the points clear here, and of course, Pastor Livingston talked about pointed those facts also the same way you have pointed, which means Nigeria is described as a horrible zone where. Pastor, want to say something? You want to?
Yeah, let me. I have a definition of Nigeria which I wrote some time ago on Facebook. I just pulled it. I wrote, Nigeria is a martyrdom of intellect. That is where intellect dies. Nigeria is a burial ground of creativity. Nigeria is a citadel of corrupt minds. Nigeria is a profanity of equity and justice. Nigeria is a land ruled by docile beings. Nigeria is a refugee for villainy. It's a place where merit is despised and mediocrity is glorified. Nigeria is a paradox that has defied every known principle of peace and progress. In fact, Nigeria is a failed state. Nigeria is a continuous negative logarithm of genotype defects concentration. It's a misnomer. That's what Nigeria is. That's the definition. Because if you look at what has happened, listen, we are not interested. Unless they say, why do we bring that? We're not interested. But we are speaking for our Biafrans to know.
Yes.
Whether they decide to rig, like we said, like Prince said, Labour Party rigged, PDP rigged, APC rigged. So if you bring them on the scale of justice, they are all guilty. Whether you read small or read big, the only difference is that this man outrigged others.
Yes.
And those that were outrigged, there are some people like Atiku might go into an understanding with Tinubu. You know, like they went understanding with him when Buhari rigged. Obi, for all I care, he could even cry me a river. They don't even care about him. Do you understand me? Yes. And even if they should, they can only call him and pacify him. He should go and sit down. Because The court, which let me not go into that. We'll get to that one. So that's the definition of Nigeria, as I see it. It's a failed state. It's a shame.
How many here says Nigeria is a crime scene? Well, we can say Nigeria is a silhouette of crime.
Yes.
It's a continuum. It's continuous.
Exactly.
It cannot stop Nigeria. Now, from that point you made right now, from the definition of Nigeria, coming from the perspective you have laid down right now, we're going to now go strictly into a particular order in this program. Now, we want to look at two things here. We want to look at the deception that is being used to sustain this Nigeria, defined the way you have defined it. And now, and what we need to do to deal with this Nigeria that has destroyed lives. Now, let's go into deception. I typically want to streamline it to a particular lady called Yesufu or so. Her name is Aisha Yesufu. I think it's
Aisha Yesufu.
Yes. And one thing I want to bring out here is that it seems in the context of deception and manipulation and keep sustaining the criminality of Nigeria, they employ some people whom they use as social undercover agents. I call them social undercover agents, because what they do is that they interact with you socially and get used to the people using the concept of social interaction, so that they will be able to sell the narrative of Nigeria continually in that context. Because the only way you can penetrate the people is when you are able to get them socially. So even if you are going to sustain your political power or your whatever power or your influence over the people, you need social approach. That's why we talk about the SQ, the social quotient. When we talk about EQ, IQ, SQ, social quotient. So now, one of those people is called Aisha. Now I'm going to display something here that she posted. Now you see, in the fact that she had been able to mislead so many people. I remember when she came up and was telling the so-called Nigerians to contribute money so that they can sponsor Obi. They said they were going to contribute 1 billion also, 1 billion naira also. I don't know whether 5 billion. I can't remember now. She was able to help mobilize, which we said Obi never spent any money. Now she was able to help mobilize the people socially in that regard. Remember, she started this very active. This activism that this stuff she does that she calls activism began with the concept of that and bring back our girls, and effectively then when they used it as a means of political gain. And now look at what she posted here. Now, after she has been able to do the whole evil and get the people misled, she now comes up with this. They say some are destroying their PVCs. Really, a third stroke into your house. A third broke into your house, or maybe a thief, maybe that's what she wants to say, and stole your things, and you destroy your house. Is that wise? The best revenge is make GRV and co governors. That means she's now employing them to come in to still sustain that election program. That means it is time to go for governorship. Now, what do you have to say about this?
You see, Kelechi, as you were talking, my mind was going through a lot, and I'm asking, why did Nigerians choose to be docile or unreasonable? Because if you see any Nigerian that wants to show some form of intelligence, it is always intended to dupe both the government and the people. They dupe the people's minds and dupe the government's pockets. Like Aisha Yesufu.
Very well.
She started with the Chibok girls issue and duped the minds of the people. By duping it, she began to prepare the ground to dupe the government financially. When she came into Obi's own, she was talking about support for Obi. She duped the minds of the people. And then began to prepare grounds for financial duping, for contribution of money. And since she has gathered a lot of support, I don't know whether the government is giving her money here or not, but I know that she's a social undercover agent by her presentation. Because honestly, when you look at it, there are certain things you have to ask. What is wrong with Nigerian people? They don't have a sense of history. If they do, they will know that the issue about election, if they didn't know anything, what happened now is enough to make them understand that the whole of this thing is a sham. Because Catriona Laing came online and said they believe people will have free and fair election. They should go and get their PVCs. This British emissary was already aware that this election was going to be rigged. Do you understand me?
Yes, very well.
She knew that the election was going to be rigged. Yes. And now they played on the minds of the Nigerians when Obi was brought in. And the people flowed because Nigerians don't think critically. But when you talk now, they'll tell you that you're stupid, they know more than you. But each time after they are thinking and they take their action, they fail. And it is the same pattern that has been used against them over the years. That means they are dumb, or they are gullible, or they don't have the capacity to think properly. They're just docile. The same way the politician will come during the election, give you money, prepare you heaven on earth, bring a candidate that will challenge the system, you run behind him. At the end of the day, they will throw that candidate away. Remember Action Congress with Atiku against Obasanjo? Everybody thought Atiku will win, and suddenly it failed. Remember Jonathan said this thing, the people that came out for him, it didn't work out. So at the end of the day, this same pattern is followed. That they bring you out, you clamor and shout, guru, 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 guru. They already know the person that they put in. Now during that time you're shouting is a distraction from you focusing on deciding to say, no, we don't want again. Let us go our separate ways and build a different nation. We have the capacity to, because once that thing happens, a Yoruba man who is in the Yoruba nation knows that this is Yoruba nation. This is their name, this is their culture. If you are given the responsibility and you misbehave, you will suffer for it. But in Nigeria, there is no nation. It's a no man's land, and it's everybody's property. Nobody owns it among the Nigerians except the British. So Catriona Laing knew that she was lying to the whole world and managed to draw the American ambassador inside this kind of thing. Now, at the end of the day, the election was a sham. Everybody saw it. The whole world have seen it. Yet, there are commendations to, first of all, INEC was commended. And then they now began to congratulate the president-elect. So, that of Aisha Yusufu, I see her from two angles, but all those two angles are negative. Either that this young lady used the Chibok or Dapchi Girls project and the Obi project to launch herself and a program to steal from the people's minds, dupe them, and then already had in her mind another plan. Possibly, maybe she was an undercover agent for Tinubu or the government. Because by what is going on, the comment she made concerning Obi there is saying somebody entered into your house and stole, and you want to burn the house down. She's now criticizing Obi. And then, okay. So when you look at what is going on, she seems also to have understood the game plan very well, and she has keyed into it. She has entered into the queue as smart Nigerians who know how to dupe Nigerians for their docility and gullibility.
Now, I want to, before you continue, I want to show you something that would actually open up give our people some insight to what you are really talking about. And this particular video, I want them to watch her body language, watch the way she was speaking, watch the way she was lacking words. At the same time, the way she was trying to put up a very, very confident, look, but yet her body language sold her out that she is an undercover social agent. Because when you see them doing what they are doing, they actually are doing it for what they are going to gain. And
exactly.
And
exactly.
On the two sides, both from the people
and from the government or the politicians.
Yes. Politicians. You can imagine that somebody who truly is standing against the government can move around anywhere in that same government and not
that same government. So she understands the game now. She's one of the latest entrants who will be milking from Nigerians for decades to come. And Nigerians keep on being fools.
Very well. So let me play this now. Let Nigerians who are watching us now and their friends, whether you're a Nigerian, whether you're not a Nigerian, whoever you are, as you're watching, please observe her body language, observe her words, observe her, her boldness, her confidence, and all of that. Observe everything about her from this, and take the words and just write them down. Write out the points, and then we're going to analyze these points one after the other to know that she's flawed. She actually has nothing to offer. So let's watch this.
Hello, everyone. How are you? How is everything? I'm sure are you upbeat for the fight ahead? We have a legal fight ahead. Fight to get our mandate back, and we're going to do it. I see a lot of people who have been saying one thing about, the courts, they control the courts, and the people are saying, you can't get your mandate there, it's not possible, they're trying to give up. They do not control the courts. They want you to believe they control the courts. So it's an illusion. I'm telling you, it was the same thing with Lagos. Many people believe that Tinubu could not be defeated in Lagos. Many people, in short, anybody you talk to, they'll tell you, when we were doing that, we say, look, for all the states, Lagos was the one I knew we had in the back, more than anything. And people will say, no, it's not possible. The only reason why it was possible for them to keep a hold of that Lagos was simply because that people believed he had the power. It was an illusion. And so because people believed that he had the power, he controlled Lagos, they didn't bother to come out and vote. Like, okay, what's the essence of coming out and vote? Just like what we've had all this, so they say political, what's the essence of coming out to vote? You understand? They do not own the judiciary. It's an illusion, and that illusion, on this case, by the grace of God, is going to be scattered. You will see it on this case. In this case, we've never as a people focused on the judiciary. All this one, we are focused on the executive and the legislative arm of government. Now, the Nigerian people, now is the time for us to focus on the judiciary. All those judges, every one of them will put a torchlight on them. Every one of them. All the cases, this is not the case that, it's only the whole Nigeria. Because it is our mandate that was stolen. I delivered my polling unit. You cannot change my result. Just put the result. We are not asking for anything else. Put the result that came from my polling unit. Otherwise, I'm also a witness. You are also a witness. So don't be afraid, all this fear, whatever. Forget it. They don't own the judiciary. They are telling you go to court, go because they think you believe that illusion and think they own it. They don't own any.
Now here is a woman who is an epitome of evil. In fact, this has shown the level of evil. I don't know. Pastor, please say something. If I start talking about this man.
Listen, Kelechi. You see this woman. It is not. There's no need blaming her too much. The problem is the thinking, the mentality of Nigerians. First of all, let me, because I blame her a little. The court she's telling them that they don't control is the same court that appointed Hope Uzodinma governor.
Very well.
And the government accepted. It's the same court that released Nnamdi Kanu and the government refused. Do you understand me? This court is being controlled by the government in power and the politicians. When she's talking, did you hear Adam Oshomole's voice inside her voice? The same thing. Example she gave is the one that Adam Oshomole also did give when he said that who would have thought that Tinubu will lose in Lagos, and some other politicians, governors who wanted to be senators in APC, who were members of Tinubu's campaign team, they lost their mandate. All these things are designed. She is the latest entrant of this deception that these politicians are carrying. The unfortunate thing is, as you are talking, there are some Nigerians who are condemning you and still believe in the courts, and at the end of the day, they will fool them, and they will continue in this their suffering. And even if you come out and explain to them, then they will try to defend what they have believed in their stupidity. So as Halima, as Yusuf begins to grow old now, she'll become wiser. You know, she's wiser now than she was last 2 months, last 3 months. She's becoming wiser in wickedness because she has drank their water. She has been engrafted into the mainstream. Do you understand me? So when she says she don't have to, the court don't have power, see the way she was putting her mouth and talking. There is no agitation in her, no aggression. It is amiable facial expression and verbal expression that she's using to Nigerians, because she now understands that using the instrument of the court or the agency or the avenue of the court, this thing will die down and the court will come up with their verdict. Even if it is, which mandate? They never had any mandate. That's one point you should know. There was never a time they had any mandate. The voting were just mere fulfilling scripture, all righteousness that everybody wanted to vote. But the result had been decided on who will rule Nigeria. So your mandate is inconsequential. That was why going out to vote there was no reason to. And now that you have gone and voted, you are talking of your mandate. Your mandate has been taken away from because you don't have any mandate, you don't have any right. So this woman is now standing as an advocate of the winning side, the politician that has won. And she understands fully well that no matter what you do, take it to court is your only means. And if you take it to court, the court will decide based on what the government wants it to decide. And even if the court decides otherwise, the government can ignore the court and nothing can be done about it. And at the end of the day, Aisha Yusufu will be in the mainstream as those who believed in calming the people down so that they don't protest. Let's go to the court, and at the court they defeated them. She will receive her own cake. So she has just entered the mainstream that will deceive Nigerians for the years to come. Not Biafrans, though. We are not interested. Thank you.
Thank you for that submission. We have Season AY, in the room now, anyways. But before we bring him on, please, Prince, I want you to speak on this matter because I don't know if I should play that video again because the more I listen to it, the more.
No, don't. I know the video already.
Okay, please, you can say. Just give us what your feelings about that part.
I mean, yeah. Hello, my brother, Season AY. Nice to have you.
Good afternoon.
Well, you're welcome.
Good afternoon to you.
Thank you, bro. You know that you couldn't be a Nigerian if you don't live in hope. Don't forget that opposite of Nigeria is intellectualism, as we all know. And indeed. You can't. Indeed. Okay, a Nigerian does not believe in changing anything by themselves. A Nigerian believes that one day God will change it. It's always in the future. So in fact, the Nigerians I see remind me of a guy I beat in tennis every time, and I keep beating him every time. But he always wins the next unplayed game. Any game that is unplayed, he wins it. He will tell you the next game is mine. The next game is mine. The next game is mine. That is a Nigerian for you. And that is why they deploy all these pastors, all these lunatics who calm the nerves of the people. And then, if you remember, before they went to election, I said, look, even if he wins, let him be winner. That Ek must have a say. Even if I declares him the way, please, votes will have. And after that, look, the layers are so much that these people don't understand anything. Now, can you see Nigerians now being calmed down? Wait, we are going to deal with it in the courts. After the court, okay, wait, as will vote him out. They will forget that they have not had an election out. People in whoever they choose to be there. These people have no brains at all. And that's why I've said to them, I said, look, let's take the bull by its horns. If you are serious about changing anything, whatever you intend to do during the court hearing, whatever you believe can bring change, do it now. Now, don't wait for court. Yeah? Don't wait for court. And if you want to rescue yourself from this mess, the only viable option is to do whatever it takes. It doesn't matter what that is. Whatever that can bring about an interim government whose sole duty to call referendum. Okay, that referendum, then you will have decided whether or not. If you say you're a Nigerian, then you can action. Is every Nigeria.
Network.
It takes that
Network is coming. I can hardly hear you properly.
Carry out. Doesn't matter what it is, you are dying anyway. It is too wide. We are all dead. It's no life. I'm sorry. So sorry. Please. Oh, I don't hear me.
Yes, we're hearing you at least the next time.
I'm sorry.
So next time we're hearing you.
Okay. So please, whatever that can bring about an interim government should be done immediately. And the sole reference for this interim government must be to carry out a referendum. Following the referendum, then people will have to decide what next to do. That I think you have me.
Yeah,
you didn't hear me. I'm sorry.
To remind us also, just like Prince Project Breakthrough is saying here, that remember that Atiku's case is still in courts. And here is Aisha telling us that the court is not under the federal government. The court is independent. And she has contradicted herself, shot herself in the foot several times in the media, where she tells you that the court does not have, having that, autonomy and all of that. She has said it several times in several places where she has spoken. Now, Citizen AY, I don't know if you know the video I'm talking about. Maybe I should play it again so that you can.
Go ahead.
Yes, let me play it so that you can get the facts, because we're looking at the deception, of course, after looking at the whole thing that have happened this period in Nigeria, which have now truly helped us to define, because the true definition of Nigeria played out in these few days in this election. It's played out completely. Now we are trying to now bring out the deception that follows, which has always been the case. Anytime there is a particular election, and then the deceit comes in. Now let's look at what this lady who prompted Nigerians, made them waste their money on Peter, made the hard-earned money, which I spoke about that time. I said she's now forcing those who are very hungry, those who are suffering, to bring out their money. And close to the election, they took the monies from them. Now today we hear that the court has given them until December 31st. They can still start using their old monies because they have succeeded in doing what they want to do with the money now, so they have to now give the verdict that today that the Supreme Court says, okay, now you can start using the money until 31st of December. They have succeeded. Now let me play the video again so that you can get the facts from it before you can now comment on it.
Hello, everyone. How are you? How's everything? I'm sure you upbeat for the fight ahead. We have a legal fight ahead. Fight to get our mandate back, and we're going to do it. I see a lot of people who have been saying one thing about, the courts, they control the courts, and the people are saying, you can't get your mandate there, it's not possible, they're trying to give up. They do not control the courts. They want you to believe they control the courts. So it's an illusion. I'm telling you, it was the same thing with Lagos. Many people believe that Tinubu could not be defeated in Lagos. Many people, in short, anybody you talk to, they'll tell you, when we're doing that, we say, look, we have Me, for all the states, Lagos was the one I knew we had in the back, more than anything. And people will say, no, it's not possible. The only reason why it was possible for them to keep a hold of that Lagos was simply because that people believed he had the power. It was an illusion. And so, because people believed that he had the power, he controlled Lagos, they didn't bother to come out and vote. Like, okay, what's the essence of coming out and vote? Just like what we've had all this, so they say political, what's the essence of coming out to vote? You understand? They do not own the judiciary. It's an illusion, and that illusion, on this case, by the grace of God, is going to be scattered. You will see it on this case. In this case, there is no. We've never, as a people, focused on the judiciary. All this one, we are focused on the executive and the legislative arm of government. Now, the Nigerian people, now is the time for us to focus on the judiciary. All those judges, every one of them will put a torchlight on them. Every one of them. All the cases. This is not the case that, oh, it's only the whole Nigeria. Because it is our mandate that was stolen. I delivered my polling unit. You cannot change my result. Just put the result. We are not asking for anything else. Put the result that came from my polling unit. Otherwise, I'm also a witness. You are also a witness. So don't be afraid, all this fear, whatever. Forget it. They don't own the judiciary. They are telling you go to court, go because they think you believe that illusion and think they own it. They don't own any.
It's all talk, my brother. Hello.
Oh,
welcome on board.
Yeah, now you can see that if you look at her body language and even her mouth, the saliva got dried because she couldn't have. She knew she was saying what was not true. And Citizen AY, please just take it up from there and let's get your perception.
Number. Good afternoon. Apologies for my being coming in late. I had one or two things unforeseen that crept up, and I had to deal with that. But I want to greet my elders. Prince Eze Iheanacho, I greet you. My brother Emeka, my brother, I greet you.
God bless you.
Yourself, I greet you as well. And I greet everybody who's on the broadcast, following the broadcast. You're watching Citizen AY. Briefly, quickly, Facebook, YouTube has blocked me on Citizen AY. So I've created a YouTube. They blocked me. So for 3 months now. And it's because of what we've been doing, promoting and talking about exposing the lies of the fraudulent Nigerian government. So what I'd like you all to do, please, I have a platform. It's called Citizen AY Backup Channel. So people can just go on, they type it in and subscribe.
Citizen AY Backup Channel.
That's it, yes.
Citizen AY Backup Channel. I'm going to pin it here so that the people can follow.
Yeah,
because the words together, Citizen AY Backup Channel, all separate?
No, there's spaces in between. There's spaces, but you'll see it. Yeah. Okay. So one of the things is, as soon as I started talking about the elections, Facebook found a way. They said that I had I committed an infringement back in May 2020, and it's only now that they decided to activate it. And it's the day after I started talking about the Nigerian election. I started exposing it and talking about it in depth. It's fine. It's okay. Yeah. We get it. It's fine. But you won't stop us talking. So I've opened Citizen AY Backup Channel. Please do subscribe to it. I really would appreciate your support in doing that to get the message out there. Now, what I want to say about Aisha, before I even talk about Aisha Yusufu, I think we were on this channel, Prince Eze Iheanacho and others said, we said, if you are going to vote in any election, it's a waste of your time and money. You said it, I said it, Prince Eze said it, many of us who are in this struggle, we said it. We said voting in that election is a waste of your money, your time. You are being tricked. And I remember saying it is likely to be either Atiku or Tinubu. More likely, I was saying that it was Atiku, but they came with a surprise, and I said one of those two. Tinubu came in. And now look at what happened. Look at what happened. The people who have voted, their vote were not even counted. This was the flaw. Their vote was not counted. And they are now left trying to now scream and shout. Well, the focus has always been, we've said it, you need to join us in this struggle. You need to join us in the struggle. Voting for anything under that contraption called Nigeria is a farce, is a lie. They will keep tricking you. Now you voted in elections, you cannot make any changes. It is not going to impact the constitution, which is the main problem. The constitution is the main problem. Election is only a way, it's a delusion tactic. It's a way to make you completely confused. That election has no meaning. Whichever side, it has no meaning. It's a constitution. And the only way to fix it, of course, is like Prince Ezehanocho said, go for a referendum. Now, to speak specifically to the point of what Aisha Yusufu was talking about, oh, they haven't got control of it. What is she talking about? What exactly is she talking about? Who appoints the chief judge? The chief justice of Nigeria. Who appoints it? What is she talking about? I'm sorry, I have not really, I followed her before, but she's just, oh, they don't control. You mean they don't control what? Okay, they don't control it. What happened in Nnamdi Kanu? They told them to release Nnamdi Kanu. They have not released him. There's the guy, the guy from the north, the leader of the Islamic sect. They've told them to release him. They have not released him. Zaki. What is she talking about? Is she trying to pull? She can fool herself if she wants to, but me, I'm not fooled by that. So she can talk all she wants. This election is a waste of your time and money. And those of you who are supporting One Nigeria, you can now see it. We said it. And what we want you to do is to join us in this struggle. So for me, I don't even want to miss too much time on what Aisha Yusufu said to be honest, it's for those who believe in her. And if you believe in them, you are believing in one Nigeria. One Nigeria can never work. But here's one thing I want to say. We, in the struggle, we have to adapt our how we approach this, however. And unfortunately, what they've managed to do with what they've done now, and it looks like it's going to stick, what they've managed to do is to put the dividing line between Yorubas and Igbos. They've managed to do that. You know why?
Yes, again, yeah.
The reason why they've done this is because now that if we're gonna, myself, if I were to say I'm going for Yoruba Nation, I want to go and protest, people will ask me, they'll say, okay, you want to go and protest. So who's the president in Nigeria now? And I have to say Yoruba. So straight away, they say, what are you protesting? Go and talk to him. That's what they will tell me. That is what they would, and that is what the international. This is by design by those in power, the international powers. Don't believe the lie that they said. Oh, it wasn't valid. Don't believe all of that. It's all a smoke screen. It's a smoke screen. But what I want us to do, Biafrans and Yorubas, let's continue to work on this struggle. It's not going to be achieved immediately. We have to continue in this struggle. I just wanted to put that in there. And what we have to really look at now is hoping that the people will wake up, because whatever decision they make, they are not going to remove Tinubu from that thing. I don't see how they can remove Tinubu. I don't see it. So all of this stuff that the judiciary they're not going. It's all they will make arrangements among themselves. I keep telling people, Peter Obi, Atiku, Tinubu, they are all friends. They will eat at the same table. They will talk. They will laugh. They will joke. Don't be the one that they're going to use as a sacrificial lamb for the division. Because when they smile, they forget all the troubles, and you're left with trouble. You're left with the burdens, and your society destroyed. Don't play their game. They are all playing a game. Peter Obi used to be in PDP. Don't forget that. People seem to forget. Peter Obi used to be in PDP. Wasn't it the same article that was talking about that Peter Obi could have waited? So, look, we have to be very, very careful. Those of you who are supporting One Nigeria, you can now see. We told you your vote is a wasted exercise in emptiness, in hopelessness. What you need to focus on is to begin to wake up and begin to go in your communities and hold these people to account at the ground level, to such an extent that you can go to the goal, the ultimate goal of referendum. That is the only solution now. Referendum is the only solution. Because now, when Tinubu starts running this government, he's going to use the same constitution. So tell me, how has your voting stopped the problem, changed the problem of its constitution? You haven't changed it. You haven't changed it. They've tricked you to believe that, you're exercising your right. Even when you exercise your right to vote, the beavers, they wouldn't count the figures. They wouldn't count it. Now, here is me, and I'm going to say this now, and I hope you guys don't get upset with me as well. I'm being very pragmatic. My goal is Yoruba Nation. Number 1, Yoruba Nation. Number 2, Yoruba Nation. Number 3, Yoruba Nation. That's my goal. Now, how to achieve that? Whatever structure is on ground, I am going to exploit it. I am going to exploit whatever structure they put before me by awakening our people. We need to start engaging in that structure, beginning to tell the people how they can weaken those structures using the sovereignty that they have. People have 2 things. There's 2 things we have. Even as bad as our constitution is, we have the 42A that gives the people the right to, the sovereignty belongs to the people, from whom the government derives the powers that it runs the nation. That's so you know that your local community has sovereignty. Number 1. Number 2, within the same constitution, 14.2c, it talks about the fact that you have the right to participate in your own governance. Because they are making your lives a hell, you can no longer afford to be going to any church or any mosque. Your focus must be how to make sure you hold these people that are governing you to account by exercising your right to participate. And you use the participation to question them, to hold them to account at every point. But you need a community spirit.
Citizen, we will teach
you. Yes.
Citizen,
yes.
You know, because that constitution can actually be used against the people at the same time. Now, you can imagine what you said. You know, you remember what you see what you said right now. You said that the power belongs to the people, from whom the government derives its power and all of that. But now the definition here now, or the big question now is, who are the people that are being referred here? Because that's where the argument will come. So,
and another thing there, Citizen AY, is that unfortunately, all you have said, Nigerians will not listen to you. That's the painful thing, because they willfully decided either to be ignorant and they don't want the changes. Because the same pattern is being used against Nigerians by the politicians every time for election, and they fall. It's just so. Why is it happening like that? Are they robbed of knowledge, common sense, or intelligence? As you're talking now, there are Nigerians who are telling you, go and sit down, we are going to the court of law. And at the end of the day, even if the court speaks in their favor, the government will disregard it, nothing will happen. So the advice we gave, I think, the best advice, because Nigerians will not go for referendum. It takes only few people to keep fighting. It is only when the British say, let there be referendum, because they like others to think for them and take action. If we say referendum now, which is what we are looking for, Nigerians will tell you, no, they love being together. Why are you trying to divide us? We love being together. And that togetherness you have maintained over the years has been detrimental, both you mentally, intellectually, psychologically, spiritually, politically, economically, socially, and in every part of your life. It's a problem.
Okay. May I say something? Can I say something? Here's one thing I want us to look at. Number 1, we have to, myself included, and I believe every one of us, we have been impacted by indoctrination by our own governance. Our people are suffering from indoctrination. The indoctrination has reduced their mental ability to think and solve their own problems to looking at somebody to solve their problems. Prince he said something before. He said our people are always looking for somebody outside of themselves to solve their problems. So we have to retrain their thinking. That will take a long time. I'll be very honest with you, because you're right. People are not going to. We keep talking about referendum. They're afraid. They've been conditioned to be afraid. Fella said it. My people said they fear too much. We fear for the thing we don't see.
We don't see the
air around us. We always get reason to fear. We don't want to die. I get one house.
By extension, when you mentioned I'm sorry, Prince. When you mentioned the Yorubas, sorry, Prince, just a minute. When you mentioned the Yorubas, that now the Yoruba man, if you get up now as Citizen AY and begin to talk about referendum, the Yoruba man will ask you, who is the president of Nigeria? Yoruba. What is your problem? Now the Igbo man, if the Igbo man gets up tomorrow and begins to say, no, we don't accept Tinubu, because they have caused a big division. The Yoruba man will ask the Igbo man, we voted for your brother. And unfortunately, he did not win. What is your problem? So unfortunately, the people are so something is wrong. You keep preaching. As far as Nigeria is concerned, if they remain as one, there's nothing you preach that will work, because they work with the same constitution. The same people who come into government, they will maintain the same streak. Yes, please. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes. What is manifest here is this tribal divide, this tribal line that Britain had deployed and had always maximized. Foolishly, our people had subscribed emotionally to the games. Now, I want all of my Yoruba brothers and sisters. In fact, right now, I'm looking seriously at our father, Professor Banji Akintoye. I'm looking seriously right now at our brother, Sunday Igboho. And I'm focusing, because let me tell you something. The real president of Nigeria right now is Shetima, not Tinubu. Tinubu is just put there as a figurehead, just to galvanize. People are fooled to believe that Tinubu is the president. It's just a way of making sure the Biafra and Yoruba cannot put together in order to come away from this evil. Now, I want every brother and sister of mine in Yoruba land to wake up to the reality that if we allow Tinubu or anybody to carry on, yeah, we have sold and we have betrayed our future generation. Because let me tell you, what is going to happen, whether you like it or not. And I'm spelling it out here on what is happen is Tinubu either going to die in Nairobi, that she is the real president of Nigeria. And by we get to that level, people have already gotten you. I'm calling on all of this world to themselves, Nigeria. Whatever it takes about an interim government, it's once and for all, because this game is going to become endless. Let me warn and tell you why I am very explicit right here. Britain already time. They are trying. They know that any breakout they can't handle. They can't right now. They are to buy time so that their killed animal would